Me in Shreveport, Louisiana. You're on with Matt and Dennis. How are you?
Hey, how you doing?
Doing all right.
Doing well.
So it says here that it says from the call screener that we ask for evidence of a creator, but there isn't any evidence that there isn't a creator. So what do we have? Right?
Pretty much, yes.
Yeah.
Start there.
So we're not sitting here saying there is no creator and we have evidence for it.
Right.
People are telling us that there is a creator, and then they are failing to produce the evidence to justify their claim, and so we're not going to believe it.
Right.
Okay. Yeah. Which I personally, I agree wholeheartedly with that statement. What you just said.
Okay.
I don't know if there is a creator, but I don't want to be wrong if there is, you know?
Okay, so let me ask you this, Jeremy. Which creator do you believe in?
I don't believe, I believe that, I don't, that's the thing, I wouldn't say that I believe in any just...
Then if there is one, if there is a creator, how do you know, and you don't believe in one, then wouldn't you be wrong?
If there is a creator and I don't believe in one, would I be wrong?
Yeah, you said you didn't want to be wrong, which is why you were believing. So which creator is the right one to believe in, and how would we know?
The right creator to believe in would be, based off of my understanding, would be the creator that whoever created this earth. Whatever created this earth.
Okay, all you did was argue in a circle.
Well, I'm not arguing at all. I'm just answering the question.
Sure, fine. You didn't answer the question. I said, which creator do you believe in? And essentially you argued we should believe in the creator.
Well, that's the thing. When you say which creator, that would say that there's multiple creators, right?
No, I'm saying there's multiple possible creators. How do you know which one of them is real?
I don't, that's what I'm saying. I don't believe in there's multiple possible creators.
You don't?
If there's a creator, there should only be one creator.
Right.
That's about what is actually. So there's Yahweh, there's Allah, there's Vishnu, there's unknown, unnamed. There's thousands of proposed beings that are potential creators according to the religion.
Saying which one?
Which one is the right one?
Which one is it?
I don't believe in any of those.
Okay. What if Vishnu? Let's go with Yahweh. What if Yahweh is real and you don't believe in him, and you said you didn't want to be wrong?
Well, I definitely know that Yahweh isn't the creator, just based off of the etymology of that word.
Okay.
Yahweh.
No. This is really bad, Jeremy, because the etymology of the word can't in any way prove that the entity behind it doesn't exist. That just doesn't follow.
That makes logical sense. Okay.
Now, here's the other thing. You're concerned about not believing. You're listed here as a theist, as somebody who believes there's a God. And when I asked you about it, you said you didn't want to. You believe because you didn't want to be wrong in case there was one. And this is a version of Pascal's wager.
Well, no. It's more so. I actually more so feel how you guys feel. We don't know if there is a God. All we saying is there's no evidence. The evidence that I say that I believe in is there has to be something. There has to be something, because if just like we created the car, there had to be something that created the earth. What created the earth?
Physics.
Oh boy.
Well, how did the earth come? Yeah,
physics.
Physics, right? Who created physics?
Physics. Well, why would you say who created physics? Do you have any reason to think that physics was created? This is just physics is descriptive of how matter interacts with gravity, the strong nuclear force, the weak nuclear force, things like that.
Okay. So why didn't physics? Okay, but just like, all right, I'm just use the example of the car again. We created the car, right? We use the technology. We use technology and knowledge to create a car. What knowledge created physics? Because
Physics isn't a creation. Physics isn't a creation. Physics is descriptive of how matter interacts. It is descriptive of nature.
Okay, who created matter though?
So there's no evidence that anyone created matter or that matter requires a creator. When you say who did this, you are assuming that there was a who and that this was something that happened that required a who, neither of which has been demonstrated.
I know, but how? So basically, we're all just basically saying we don't know anything.
No, we know lots of things. We just don't know that. Why would you say we don't know anything when we don't know that?
I know, but I know. So why should I question if there's a creator? Why should I not? Why should I question that there is a creator, and why should I question that there's not a creator? If we don't know what created matter, if matter always here, we don't know that.
You should question it,
right? Exactly. That's what I do. That's why I'm here. I'm questioning it. So I'm just trying to see if you guys have a better answer than I do.
No, we don't have an explanation for the origin of the universe, and so far as we can tell, neither does anyone else.
Right.
Exactly. So
that's it.
So that's okay. So I guess that's just the gist of the whole conversation. I guess we just meet in the middle.
Huh. Okay.
How did we meet in the middle if now the only way we see you're listed as a theist on the call thing, which means that you believe in a God. But now you're saying you don't, and now you're saying that you agree with us, and now somehow you're saying we've met in the middle. The middle of what? Nowhere?
Well, you guys have to believe in something. So
I believe in lots of things.
Yeah.
Okay. So do you not believe that there's a God?
Correct.
I don't want to use the words God. That there's a creator. You don't believe that there's a creator, right?
Correct. I do not believe that there is a creator, an agent, a thinking agent creator.
I lack belief in a creator, yes.
Okay, so what evidence do you have to believe that?
I don't believe that.
We're saying we do not believe that.
No, I'm saying what evidence do you have to not believe?
No. You don't need evidence to not believe. Do you believe that Bigfoot's real?
I don't know if Bigfoot's real because I don't have any evidence of that.
Okay, are you convinced that Bigfoot is real?
I wouldn't know because I never met Bigfoot.
No, that's not what I asked. Answer the question I asked. Are you convinced that Bigfoot is real? That's a yes or no question. There is no other option. Yes or no are the only options.
Am I convinced? Is Bigfoot real?
Right.
No, because I've never met Bigfoot.
Correct. That's exactly what we're saying about God.
Okay, so I get you. So you're saying I never met God, so I don't believe that he's real.
It's not a met thing. Met is the evidence.
He's never manifested himself in your life.
I have seen insufficient evidence to warrant accepting that there is a God, just like you have seen insufficient evidence to warrant accepting that there's a Bigfoot.
Got it.
Right.
Okay. So so based off of that understanding, we don't know if there's a God because you've never met him.
Right. And we're not making a statement about objective reality. We're making a statement about our own subjective belief. Is there a belief in God in my head? And I can say, no. I know for a fact that there's no belief in God in my head.
So one of the next common questions, Jeremy, is, well, if you're just not convinced that a God exists, why are you sitting here doing a TV show arguing with people about it? And the answer is really simple. Because if I lived in a world where the majority of people believed in Bigfoot and were trying to legislate what Bigfoot wanted onto everybody else and suggested that we were all nuts for not believing that Bigfoot exists, I would be doing a fucking Bigfoot show.
I feel you.
Yeah.
I totally understand that. So basically what you're doing is in trying to inspire logic to everyone.
I'm also, if there is in fact a God or a Bigfoot, I would like to know that because I'd like to not, I'd like to believe things that are true, as many of them as possible and as few false things as possible.
Exactly.
Right. And so I'm giving people an opportunity to present the argument and evidence for their beliefs. And I've done this for 15 years, and the show's been going for 23, 24 years. And the arguments have been going on for hundreds and thousands of years prior to that. And to date, we don't have a single valid and sound argument supported by evidence for any proposed God at all. Now, while that doesn't prove that there isn't a God, it certainly is a strong inductive indicator that there's probably not.
Okay, so we should. All right, so because I'm just asking questions, I didn't really call to really argue anything.
No, it's all good. You're good.
I'm a
I'm
a truth seeker. So with not understanding, with the understanding that basically, hey, I don't believe in God because there's no evidence of him, right? Then my next question is how well, I guess we don't know because we don't know how the earth got here or
well, we do have a pretty good understanding of the formation of the earth or at least a potential candidate. We don't have a time machine, but we understand. For example, we understand the accretion disk from stars and the material that's out there can form planets. We've observed all the factors of this. We just don't have a time machine to go back and watch ours.
But okay, so all right. So when you say planets, all right, this is another thing.
Yep.
Because I don't feel like we have logical evidence to believe that there's a such thing as planets. I believe, like let's just say it like this.
Oh my
God. I believe the Earth is the only thing that exists. It is our universe.
Then what are those lights in the sky?
Did we not go to the moon? Do we not have Mercury, Venus?
No, I don't believe that we went to the moon because based off of what I've researched and what I've found. Like for instance, I'm gonna give you a perfect example.
I doubt it.
Moon landed.
Yeah.
Okay. Well. All right. Well, let me say it first. All right. All right. For instance, Neil Armstrong. They said he went to the moon. He went to the Sweden ambassador, and they gave him a gift. That gift was supposed to be a moon rock from the moon, the surface of the moon, right?
And it wasn't.
It comes to find out, it wasn't. It was petrified wood. So based off of that, if I learned that, why should I believe that somebody went to the moon when that was a lie?
Because you can get a fucking telescope and look at the moon and see the tracks and see the reflectors that were up there. You know that.
You can see what reflectors?
The reflectors that we put there.
Well, you can't see it from a telescope on the Earth, but you've got pictures of it.
When you say we, who is we? Have you
seen
a telescope that sees the reflectors on the Earth?
Hang on. You're saying that every government with a space program is lying.
Well, I don't know them.
It's all full of lying shills.
Basically, because if I don't know, how can
then screw you.
You're basically saying I'm believing them because they know better.
No, I'm saying no. I'm not saying believe them because they know better. I'm talking about the actual evidence. And so when we talk about
evidence and how,
if you'll shut up.
Who are you talking to like that?
We're supposed. I'm in mid-sentence.
That's very unprofessional. I'm asking you.
I don't give a rat's fucking ass what you think is professional or not. I was speaking, trying to answer your question, and you jumped in to ask another question. Do you want a fucking answer or not?
Why are you cursing, though?
Because I can, because words don't have magical powers, because it draws your attention in and makes you realize that you were about to get the answer and you prevented the answer.
Basically, right?
What?
I just start cursing too, right?
You can if you want to.
Okay, I will. All right, you can continue. Sorry.
Thank you for permission to continue on my own fucking show.
Okay, sorry. You can finish.
Now, I'm not saying believe the governments that told you we've been to the moon. I'm saying that you lack a fundamental understanding of science, what we know about science, and how we can demonstrate this, both with regard to the age of the Earth, how planets form, how solar systems form, and what actually is required. Are you on a cell phone right now?
I am.
Okay. Does it have a GPS system on that cell phone?
It does.
It does. Do you realize that that is from geosynchronous satellites orbiting the Earth, showing that we were able to put those up, right?
Well, it could be from satellites orbiting the Earth, or it could just be some satellites that's high enough in the sky to where I can't see them, and it just...
That is literally what orbiting the Earth means. You definitely need to go and take some courses on science and what we understand, because if you're just sitting, goodbye, jackass. Because if you're just going to sit there and suggest that if you haven't seen it, or if your only piece of information is a government, then you are then justified in accepting that all of the rest of the evidence about this means that you shouldn't believe we've been to the moon. Now, don't get me wrong, nobody should be convinced we went to the moon until they've seen sufficient evidence to warrant it.
Right.
Like the moon landing footage, or the fact that every other government stopped their race to the moon when we announced that we'd got there. And by the way, the tracks that are visible up there and the reflectors that you can actually measure with lasers and stuff like that. Because you could sit here all day long and say, with your flawed understanding of, hey, these satellites are in orbit around the Earth. Maybe they're just so high in the sky that I can't see them. Yes, that's literally what in orbit it's not. Well, I can't believe I'm actually having to explain this.
The core issue is that everybody has to be lying to you.
Yeah.
And that is the insane, unlikely, and just crazy part of it.
Well, it's more than that, because so if you're confused about who wrote physics, you've made a flawed assumption. And it's not the first time it's happened where somebody calls in and says, well, if God didn't create the universe, who did? Okay, because the who question is already a problem. But we understand how physics works. We understand gravity. We have both Newtonian models of physics, and now we're moving towards quantum mechanics and things like that. But the same technology that is required to get a satellite into low Earth orbit or a geosynchronous stable Earth orbit, all is what we need to get to the moon, which is also what we needed to get the Voyager to be able to use the gravitational pull of different planets to make a wonderful path through our solar system and head on out and exit after that. But you don't even need to do that, because you literally said, I believe is the only thing that's out there, which means if you go out and stand outside at night and look up and see the moon, you're already wrong. When you see the other stars, you are even more wrong. It's clear. Are you buying this thing that maybe they're just pinholes in the curtain of night, or maybe our government has been projecting them up there, when even before we had any technology that could have possibly set up a projection, the ancients had already mapped them and gave them their names as planets, because all they could see were lights in the sky, and planets comes from the Greek word of wanderers, because they didn't follow all the other stars are moving like this,
and these wandering around.
These other wanderers. This is the process by which, go watch the original Cosmos. Go watch James Burke's The Day the Universe Changed. Go watch the other James Burke, not The Day the Universe Changed, it's Connections. Watch those, and then open a science book, and then figure out how we can know and understand these things. Because while I am no expert at all on anything scientific, and before this show, I would have said I had just a baseline rudimentary understanding of science. And yet when people call in like this, I realize how much we have failed an educational system, so that you don't understand logical arguments, you don't understand where the burden of proof rests, you don't understand the basics of science. And it goes right back to the guy who's saying that, the chemicals in your brain can't produce consciousness. It's one thing to say we don't understand how, and we're hypothesizing that this is an emergent property. We may not have the right answer. It's something else to say that can't happen. Naturalism prevents that from happening. That is an assertion that you need to demonstrate. And when you say...
It was like, this sounded like arguing with a flat earther.
Yeah.
And the thing really you need to narrow it down to is, okay, you don't believe the moon is... the heliocentric thing it's supposed to be, right? You don't believe it's orbiting the Earth and the Earth is orbiting the sun. All right, it's the sun and the moon are two things revolving around a plate, a flat Earth, right? But then you go, okay, now using your flat Earth map, using your flat Earth model, predict the next eclipse.
Yeah.
Us using the heliocentric model can predict it to the freaking second. Show us that your model is better.
Yeah, you don't even have to go that. You can also just be under that model, show me all the movements of the other bodies, and explain to me why every one of these stellar system items we see is an oblate spheroid, and we're on the flat thing.
Right. But it's the predictions we can make, the obvious predictions that come completely and specifically true that show that science works.
That's the proof that's in the pudding. On that note, we